Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about how to get the most pesos for your dollars in Mexico. Given the exchange rate between the US dollar and the Mexican peso is constantly fluctuating, it's important to do your research to find the best ways to exchange your currency.
In this video, we're going to share with you our 7 tips for getting the most pesos for your dollars in Mexico. We'll also cover some common scams and money mistakes to avoid so we can save you even more money.
Alright, let's get started. For tip number 1, avoid using currency exchange kiosks at the airport. Currency exchange kiosks at the airport are notorious for having the worst exchange rates. In fact, they often charge up to 10% commission on every transaction. Even places that claim they have a no commission will typically embed it in their service by offering you an extremely unfavorable exchange rate. To confirm how much extra you are being charged than the actual market rate, you can do a quick Google search on your smartphone or use an app like XE.
Instead, and for tip number 2, withdraw cash from an ATM. On arrival, we look for major bank ATMs to get the best exchange rate. In Mexico, however, this process isn't as straightforward as you'd expect. For starters, you'll be asked a series of questions that may be confusing. On our last trip to Scotiabank in Playa del Carmen, for example, Andy was asked if he wanted to pay a fee to ensure his withdrawal for 3 hours. I thought he was kidding. Even if you did agree, I'm sure it would be next to impossible to use this type of insurance. Unlike in many countries, however, hitting decline to prompts at the ATM will not cancel your transaction in Mexico.
This brings us to tip number 3. Be sure to decline the conversion rate when you withdraw cash from an ATM. Again, this will not cancel your transaction. However, if you don't decline the conversion rate, you are agreeing for the local bank to exchange your dollars for its posted rate versus the market rate. In our Scotiabank example, the bank clearly lists their 12% markup. The not-so-hidden fee will add to your cost of your withdrawal.
For tip number 4, sign up for a no-fee debit card that reimburses you for international ATM fees. We both have accounts at Charles Schwab for this exact reason. In our Scotiabank example, the ATM fee was 100 pesos, or about $5, to use the ATM. This is the one question and fee you do have to accept at the ATM, but Charles Schwab reimburses this fee and charges no fees of their own to use ATMs worldwide. We've easily saved thousands of dollars across the 70+ countries that we've traveled to over the years. Also, if you're not a frequent traveler, we recommend letting your financial institutions know when and where you're traveling in advance so you don't have your card decline on arrival in a foreign country.
For tip number 5, use a credit card that doesn't charge foreign transaction fees. Foreign transaction fees are fees that banks charge when you use your credit card to make a purchase in a foreign currency. These fees can add up quickly, so it's important to use a credit card that doesn't charge them.
Our go-to travel credit card is the Chase Sapphire Reserve, which does not charge foreign transaction fees. In addition, we earn lucrative points for every purchase. There is a hefty $550 annual fee. However, you do get $300 back on your first $300 spent on travel, bringing the total cost down to $250 for the annual fee. For that $250, you get a Priority Pass membership, which gets you free access to airport lounges all over the world. This benefit alone saves us at least $250 in food and drink when traveling internationally each year.
Other benefits include a reimbursed global entry sign-up worth $100 and travel insurance, which we've used every year for trip interruptions and cancellations. Again, this benefit alone has been worth more than the annual fee. So bottom line, this travel credit card really works for our needs. To see if it's right for you, we'll add a link to it and all of the products and services we use while traveling in the description. Let us know in the comments your favorites and any tips and tricks you've discovered while traveling or living abroad.
One word of caution on paying with your credit card is to double check that the vendor is not charging you an added fee to use your credit card. Many businesses will add a 2 to 5% credit card fee, which would completely negate any benefit with respect to earning credit card points. As such, we will let them know, nope, we can pay in cash instead. We always pay with whatever method will give us the best bang for our buck.
For tip number 6, pay in pesos whenever possible. One of the biggest money mistakes we see in Mexico is travelers paying in dollars versus pesos. Having lived here for 2+ years, if we are being quoted in dollars or even see a menu with prices in dollars versus pesos, we know we are paying tourist prices. To make matters worse, businesses will set their own exchange rate, just like banks do, for your convenience of paying in dollars. We can guarantee you that this rate is at least 5 to 10% worse than the actual market exchange rate.
Again, we recommend opening your XE app on your smartphone and comparing the price on the bill in dollars versus pesos. You'll quickly see how much less everything costs when you pay in local currency. And this travel tip is important to know for your travels all over the world, not just in Mexico. It's also equally important to remember this tip for both cash and credit card payments. The key takeaway is to always pay in local currency when traveling internationally to get the best exchange rate.
For tip number 7, send large amounts of money to Mexico using Wise. If you are already living in Mexico and need more than a few $100s worth of pesos at a time, or are a tourist planning to make a large purchase in Mexico, we recommend using Wise. We've been using Wise, formerly TransferWise, for years, and it's a great option to avoid making multiple withdrawals from ATMs in a short period of time. Banks may have ATM withdrawal limits, and ATM lines can be long, so Wise can help simplify your larger transactions. Wise also now has alerts that you can set up to be notified when the dollar to peso exchange rate hits $1 to 20 pesos, for example. It's currently just over 17 pesos, as the peso has strengthened considerably against the dollar in the past year.
Given the nearshoring manufacturing shift from China to Mexico, we may see even further strength of the peso against the dollar. So taking advantage of any short-term fluctuations may be, for lack of a better word, wise. I've also personally found Wise as the cheapest way to transfer and exchange money internationally. I started using it years ago, back when I was an expat working in the UK. HSBC would charge me nearly 4% to transfer and exchange my monthly savings in pounds to dollars back in the US, whereas Wise only charged me about 1%. It's also super easy to use and set up. To see if it makes sense for your situation, we'll add a link in the description.
Also, for international transfers and exchanges, we recommend comparing your home bank's international wire fee and exchange rate to that of Wise, and then go with the best option for you. Wise has been around for years and is the most trusted and well-respected of the online options out there.
Well, that's it for this video on money tips in Mexico. If you found it helpful, do us a favor and smash that like button for the almighty YouTube algorithm, and consider subscribing to our channel. If you're new to our channel, we've made a number of videos on topics in Mexico like private healthcare and ways to stay safe traveling around Mexico, so definitely check those out.
Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next adventure.
Hasta luego!